Plant-based eating has deep roots in Chinese history. People in ancient China were mostly plant-based, relying on rice, grains, and vegetables as staples. During Han Dynasty, meat began to be more integrated into the diets of both elites and ordinary people. At the same time, Buddhism arrived in China and gradually integrated with Chinese culture, influencing philosophy, art, and food practices. Buddhist monastic traditions emphasized vegetarianism because the principle of ahimsa, non-violence, discouraged the killing of animals. This led to the development of elaborate vegetarian cuisine in Buddhist temples, where monks created meat-like textures using tofu, wheat gluten, seitan, and mushrooms. Over time, Buddhist vegetarianism influenced wider dietary habits, particularly among the elite in religious communities. The Tang Dynasty saw significant cultural exchanges through the Silk Road, which brought new food ideas, including more frequent consumption of meat like lamb and beef, especially in regions influenced by Central Asian nomads. However, the concept of meat as a luxury remained, and many people still had diets heavily based on grains, vegetables, and tofu. By the time of the Ming Dynasty, meat consumption became more widespread, and the Qing Dynasty brought a rise in meat consumption, especially with the expansion of agricultural practices and improved transportation. After the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, the communist government discouraged religious practice, viewing it as superstitious and incompatible with Marxist ideology. Buddhism was severely restricted. This meant that the religious context for vegetarianism, especially with the monastic system, was weakened. After the revolution, China's economy and agricultural policies were shaped by communism. Meat consumption was limited by policies that focused on grain production and feeding the masses, with meat being a rare luxury. With the opening up of China's economy in the 1980s, consumer demand for meat increased dramatically. The government started to promote meat as part of a balanced diet, alongside economic growth and rising living standards. Since the late 19th century, there has been a resurgence of interest in Buddhism, partly due to cultural revival movements and state-supported tourism around historical sites. Today, around 33% of the population identify as Buddhist, but not all of them follow a plant-based diet. Levels of devotion are widely different, with many practicing a blend of Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucian traditions rather than adhering strictly to one religion. There are still many cafes and restaurants in modern China that are plant-based, and Buddhism continues to influence the presence of these establishments. What these restaurants serve is called pure vegetarian, which is accidentally vegan but also excludes the 5 pungent roots: onions, garlic, leeks, chives, and spring onions, believed to disturb spiritual balance in some Buddhist and Taoist traditions. China is home to the world's oldest vegan restaurants like Gongdaling, established in 1922. It has locations in Beijing and Shanghai and specializes in realistic mock meats. There is also Fu Hei Hui in Shanghai, a Michelin-starred restaurant promoting innovation in plant-based cuisine. The evolution of dietary patterns in China reflects a complex blend of religious influence, economic growth, and shifting societal norms. The market for plant-based food continues to expand, and China's dietary future will be shaped by both its past and its aspirations.